I'm J. Rachel Edison.
And I'm T. Fougner, filling in for Miles Stokes.
And Miles and I host the podcast, Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men. It's a weekly walk through the ins, outs, and retcons of comics' greatest superhero soap opera. We also host Jay and Miles Review the X-Men, which you're watching right now, where we walk through the X-books that come out in any given week. Now, this week, I am in scenic New York City, capital of, it's not actually the capital of anything, but it's very big. And T has graciously agreed to fill in for Miles. It's very late at night because Eastern Standard Time is apparently a thing.
We're in the future.
We are in the future. We're also slightly tipsy. So yeah, you are getting a special pajamas recording where we review the books of July 20th, 2016. Ready to do this?
I guess so.
First up is Uncanny X-Men number 10, written by Cullen Bunn, with art by Ken Lashley and colors by Nolan Woodard. So this wraps up at last the Apocalypse Wars storyline. And this has been kind of a sprawling, messy, but really interesting and evocative story. And this conclusion really maintains that. Honestly, I'm more excited about the changes in the status quo that come with the end of the story than I was with the execution of the story itself. That said, those are cool, those are exciting, and it's really, I'm looking forward to the future of the book. So T, you don't normally follow a ton of X titles. What would you say about this as a book for newcomers and new readers?
I was completely confounded by it. Basically, what I got out of it was that Angel's wings regrow like a lizard tail.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
They have their moments. There are sort of two of him and then one of him. And
yeah.
It's complicated, but interesting. Speaking of which, this effectively resolves the follow-up to the Dark Angel saga. That was Rick Remender's Uncanny X-Force story ages and ages ago, one of the best stories, and I have some kind of mixed feelings about how that plays out here. On one hand, if you're going to resolve it, this is a good way to do it. On the other hand, that was such a powerful story that it seems almost a shame to me to scratch it back up, because I kind of almost want to let it sit out of respect. Again, that said, if you're going to, this is how. This is also the last issue Ken Lashley is going to be drawing for a while, which I'm really sorry to see. He was a really solid artist, and we're getting Greg Land back, and I feel like my feelings on that are pretty well established. If you're just jumping into the title, wait till the next arc that's going to be beginning next month. This is, as T said, not a good jumping on point, and honestly, I think the Apocalypse Wars storyline is worth reading if you're interested in how they got from here to there, but I suspect, given the specific shifts, that you're not going to have trouble jumping onto the new status quo as it emerges in August. So, yeah, if you're not reading yet, hold off. Next up is All New Wolverine number 10, written by Tom Taylor, with pencils by Iguara, inks by Bob Wycheck and Victor Olazaba, and colors by John Roch. This is sort of the first official issue of the Logan arc, where Old Man Logan has suddenly turned up with All New Wolverine. It's also the first time we've seen all 4 generations of current Wolverines together. That is Old Man Logan, All New Wolverines, Laura, Gabby, her teenage clone, and Jonathan, the actual Wolverine. Squirrel Girl dropped off a couple issues together. It's a lot of continuity in one place, and I know Uncanny X-Men was a challenge. What did you think of this?
I loved it. I actually thought it was really accessible for new readers. All the characterizations were fantastic. I really loved Gabby, who was a character I hadn't really approached before. And I loved Jonathan. I was also really appreciative to see somebody finally deal with the issue of the fact that Wolverines are not wolves.
Right?
Yes.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
I've talked before about how much I love the ways that Laura is very visibly a descendant of, but also very visibly different from Logan. And seeing them in one place, especially along with Gabby, just underlines the difference in that characterization beautifully. The art in this is good. In a vacuum, in any other context, it would be superlative. I still miss the first creative team on this book, the first team of artists. But the bar they set was high enough that I honestly kind of feel like it's unrealistic to hold up other folks to that bar. So this is the fun book, and it's the funny book, and it continues to be the funny book. We were reading it on the train on the Long Island Railroad.
Yes.
And laughing really loudly to the point that I think we kind of creeped out the dude sitting next to us.
Because he moved.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're delightful. We are good citizens, y'all. But this book is fantastic, but it's taking a more serious turn, and as when it turns silly, it's doing it really organically, really well, and really believably. I've said this before, and I will say it again. If you are following one title in the current X line, this is the one to follow. All New X-Men is my favorite team book, but honestly, of the entire landscape, this is the one that I most consistently recommend, and it's the one that most consistently surprises and delights me, and is the freshest, and also kind of the most contiguous. This is making me care more about Old Man Logan than his solo title could over like 8 issues. So our pick of this week, if it's not blatantly and painfully obvious, is All New Wolverine number 10. T, you are a comics editor. We've got roughly the same credentials here. I'm going to pass the buck on panel of the week to you, if that's cool.
Sure. Okay, so this is our panel of the week, and one of the things I really, really love about it, first and foremost, is Gabby's facial expression is so perfect here. It's incredibly nuanced, and you just get, it's so emotive. I think the composition in this panel is fantastic. The way that Gabby and Logan are interacting in space, not just in a 2-dimensional space, but along a z-axis, is really fantastic. But it's also a really good story moment. It's an extremely pivotal moment in terms of changing what we know about the relationship between these two characters, but doing so in a way that doesn't go crazy with exposition, and I really enjoyed that.
So that's 2 of 2 for this week. T, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
And T is super awesome. She is an editor and a writer and a cartoonist and amazing. And I will drop some links for where you can follow T online in the copy around this video, which you should do because, again, super excellent. We got tattoos today. It was a thing that happened.
We did.
So if you liked what you saw here, but you think it would be way better with no faces, a different co-host, one with a really excellent beard that you can't see, you should check out the podcast, Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men. New episodes go up every Sunday on explainthexmen.com, also on Google Play, iTunes, and Stitcher. This week we're going to be heading back to X Factor as they learn dubious parenting skills and head to the UK to fight some trolls. That podcast, these video reviews, and everything at explainthexmen.com come to you courtesy of our Patreon subscribers. We're an entirely listener-supported project. It's what keeps us on the air and ad-free, and if you want to join the ranks, you can do that at the link either above or below this video, depending on where you're watching it. Meanwhile, see you next week back in Portland. Okay, so that's it. We're done. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Oh, no, but we forgot to turn the bears
Oh.
on. We gotta turn the bears on.
There.
We gotta turn on the bears. Let's find the switch. They glow.
They do.
We made Summer's bears.
And we made Scott's Captain America.
Dude, that's canon. That is not just any Captain America bear. That is
is.
Cyclops' Captain America bear.
Jean won it for him at the carnival.
It appears in one panel, sometime in the late 90s. We're very committed.
Yes.